morning, afternoon, whenever you're deciding to watch this. I don't know. First thing, I'm testing out these Ceramonic Ultra wireless lavs because I've never used them in like a proper context. I've used them a little bit here and there, but I haven't like really dialed in the settings and the post-production kind of like workflow that I like and how they sound. So I'm testing this to like see how I like them, and you know, I'll do a review on them at some point. And I have them connected up to my phone with the receiver recording the audio like into the phone and then through the Ceramonic app. So I'll see how this all goes, and I'll post my thoughts on them later. But the biggest thing is I haven't done like a sit down talking head, and I realized that I've been up in New York City as an artist, as a creative, as just a human being. I've been up here for 6 months now, which is kind of crazy to think about, but also like 6 months is nothing in the comparison of life that, you know, like the 6 months up here can either go so fast or it can feel like the longest 6 months of your life. And I feel like I've just had some takeaways that I wanted to talk about. Yeah, takeaway number one is there's this mentality of if you don't go and get it, it's not gonna happen. And I feel like you could be in any like major city or like hub or anywhere really where that can be true. And what I mean is, like, if you don't go knocking on the door, then no one's gonna answer. And this city makes you feel like you have to go knock on the door. But the important thing I think that I've realized, and I feel like people need to remember, is if you go knock on the door and no one answers, then go knock on the next one. Like, I feel like it can feel very finite of, this door didn't open, like what am I doing? Just keep knocking on doors, and eventually someone's gonna open the door. I think that's something that I've had to remind myself a lot of recently, because like people who watch this or follow me on social media or whatever, they know that I'm an actor first. Aside from like all the camera and like cinematography stuff, the heart of this has always been through the lens and through the path of acting. And I feel like within that world specifically, it's very easy to feel like no one's answering the call. You know, keep knocking. Like someone is going to answer, and it's going to be the right person. So I think, yeah, that's kind of my takeaway number one. Takeaway number two is this city makes you, whether you're an artist, a creative, a businessman, whoever you are, and whatever it is you're doing, this city makes you feel on extreme levels. And I'm more so like, all of this is just through like my perspective and like my feelings around all of this, but it has made me feel emotionally on some of the most extreme levels I think I've ever felt in my life. The lows are extremely low, and the highs can feel out of this world high. But I think as I've lived here, and again in a very short amount of time, and just have like been experiencing different things, something that's helped me is holding on to a sense of realism. Like I think especially within acting or any type of like creative pursuit, there's this thing of like holding on to a sense of delusion, and I do think that is beneficial, and I do think that's helpful, because if you don't have some sense of delusion and you just follow this path based on realism, it's crushing. Like no one would make it, you know. Just holding on to some sense of realism and not like over romanticizing what this city can offer, and then having the realization and the realism kind of thought process is that it can also very easily take everything away. And more importantly, it can take everything away and chip away at your peace of mind. So I think the balance for me has been just like finding the mix of realism and delusion, and like where all of that fits within my life to make going forward as smooth as possible, or that is within my control, right? Like the emotions here run rampant, and again, extremely highs. They feel so good, and the lows, especially here, like they can crush you. And I think it's finding the things that can like kind of help balance that out. yeah, it's hard, but it's worth it. If you can find a balance that you can live with on a fairly consistent basis, like that's been my like goal. That's been my search of like finding the balance of everything. And with that, like nothing's linear here. Nothing's linear anywhere. I mean, some things could be said like, oh, this is a very linear path. Like, you don't jump into a company as a CEO, or you know, you got to start somewhere. And I think that's true for everything. But again, especially within any type of creative pursuit, filmmaking, theater, acting, whatever, like it's very easy to look at it as linear in certain contexts. Like I primarily, a lot of the auditions that I go out on, or a lot of the auditions that I'm sent, are through TV and film casting, for like the procedurals, the SVUs, the Criminal Minds, the, you know, like all of those types of shows. And I feel like from the outside looking in, it can feel very linear, or there's this kind of thing over top of it where like, well, why would casting put me as a co-star or as a guest star if I've never had a co-star? Or why would they waste their time giving me an appointment for a recurring if I've never gotten a guest star? It can very, from an outside, like if you're not involved in casting, it can very easily feel that way from an actor's perspective of like, well, why would this happen if I didn't do this? Or why would, if I'm not doing this, then why would I even do this? Like, it can very easily feel that way, but the reality is it's not that way at all. You could have just come out of your senior showcase and the first audition that you get is for One Battle After Another with Leonardo DiCaprio and Sean Penn and all the rest of the cast. I'm more so talking about Chase Infinity. Great movie, by the way. Like, there's nothing linear about it. And I think what my kind of takeaway around all of that is, like, you could have everything happening for you one day, and then the next day is the start of a 6-month period where absolutely nothing happens. Or you could be up here for the first 1 to 2 years and nothing's happening, and you're contemplating leaving the city because nothing's happening and it doesn't feel right. And then that next day, the biggest thing of your life happens, and it shoots up in trajectory. Like there's nothing linear and nothing is guaranteed to happen within a certain way. And I think for me, it's just been like coming to grips with that and like being okay with that, because like that's a really weird, unpredictable feeling, and it's just kind of accepting the reality of that's how it is. I think that's really important, at least for me. Like it's been very important to understand what that is, why that's the way that it is, and just go with it. Like just kind of follow the, just kind of follow the current on that, I think has been a thing for me. Another thing is like branching out, meeting people, but also like keeping the real ones like close and like trusting them. I think New York City is an incredible place because you could meet anybody from any walk of life, any background, any whatever. And I think there's this inherent like beauty and privilege within living in a city or a place that allows for that to happen. But there's also like a challenge with that, because at least within any type of, this could be true for any type of field, but at least in acting, filmmaking, again, whatever, like not everyone's your friend. And I think that's something that I've also like really had to really just be okay with, because I feel I'm inherently a social person. I feel like I'm down to meet anybody, and I'm fairly extroverted like when I need to be, but like not everyone is your friend. And what this city like ultimately teaches you is how to read people like a book within 15 seconds of meeting them. At least that's what it's taught me. And when I say reading people, it's like, what's the intention here? Like what is the intention of this interaction? And is this a thing of like, this is a community building thing, or like, do you want something? Like there are some people that make it abundantly clear and they can't hide that. This city like really teaches you how to discern that from people. And when you feel that, trust your gut. Like, don't, if someone comes up to you and they have all this pull and all this access, but they want this thing from you, and if that's not what you want to give, then don't give it. Like, you don't have to, like, you know, it's a hard thing to describe, but yeah, it's great. It is fantastic to go out and meet people here, and this is one of the largest, most densely populated places that allows for that to happen in such a small kind of vicinity. But like, tread lightly, or like, be careful, and like more importantly over everything, like, trust your gut on who you're around. And when you find those people that you trust and you want to create things with, or you want to spend time with, and it doesn't feel forced, or there's like this give and pull of like, well, I'm doing this for you, you do this for me. Like, when that's not there, and you meet people that like click, stick with them. That's been a huge thing that I've noticed up here, at least again within the first kind of 6 months. And kind of going after that, and this is the last one, just because I didn't want to make this like an hour-long like thing. But the last big one is like, following hunger and a grind here is very easy, and it's a fantastic feeling. Like, you feel like you're constantly busy and you're constantly doing these things and you're chasing after like blah 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 blah. That's great. This city inherently is built to do that, and it's also built to make you feel like you're not doing nearly enough. But it is okay to not do something and take some time for some R&R, whether you want to just like spend the night reading your favorite book, or binging a Netflix show that you've been wanting to watch for a while, or whatever it is that you need to like hold on to your peace of mind and your sanity here, because this place will chip away at that so fast if you let it. Like, don't feel like you have to always be doing XYZ and then like restarting the alphabet and then going from A, B, C, D, E, you know, like, you don't have to do that. The city is always here. It moves fast, and it'll be the people in it and the city itself will be the first thing that let you know, like, it moves so fast. And it can create this kind of like FOMO feeling of like, oh, but if I don't do it right now, I'm never gonna get the shot to do it again. Like, it's not true. It's not true. At least from what I've experienced, it's not true. It is okay to take time to just relax. The city is here always. It will be here tomorrow. The people that are here will be here tomorrow. The things that are happening in the city, whether it happened yesterday and you missed out, they might, like, if it's an event, you probably missed it yesterday, it's probably gonna happen again in a month. Like, or, you know, like, it's not this finite thing of like, oh, if I don't do it right now, it's never gonna happen. It is okay to let go of that feeling, even though this place inherently makes you feel like that. And I think that's also something that that I've had to like become okay with and like take time. Like, even just doing this, like, I could take the time to like, yeah, I'm creating something and I'm making a video, but like, I could go out with my camera and like go network in Central Park with all the other people who are holding cameras, or like go down to Times Square and, you know, do the same thing, or like go to instead of making a video, I could go find a networking event for creatives and filmmakers, or whatever. But like, what I wanted to do today was sit in my bedroom and set up all this lighting stuff and make my frame look cool and like sit and talk to a camera, and that's okay. Like, yeah, those are kind of my biggest takeaways in this first 6 months up in one of the largest, fastest moving, most densely populated cities in the world. I think those are at least the ones that are the most important to me, and the ones that I've been like trying to discern and understand within myself since being up here. So just food for thought. Yeah. I'll see you later.